Social Universe, where you learn the secrets of the social media through the social universe, and in many cases, you learn the secrets of the universe itself. Today, we are interviewing a client who's done a very, very good job in the social media, so you should definitely go to their website, and then from there, click the badges to be able to go out to their social media. The website is www.footsolutions.com/Goodyear-Arizona.com. And then click on their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, which this show will be actually on their YouTube channel later on, and also make sure you check them out on Twitter, and you'll be able to see they have a very, very good following, and on LinkedIn as well. And a phone number for any of you who want to call and take advantage of the free different the one consultation with the 3 different tests that they provide for you for free. It's 623-536-6676, and it asks for either Art or Linnell or Patty. So either one of them, any of the 3 would work on the show. So again, thank you for joining us on the show. We actually have a real live examples of some orthotics that we can talk about. So if you want to, for the potential YouTube viewers in the future, and we have to do 2 different types of orthotics. One of them is not with Foot Solutions. The other one is mine that I've worn for years. If you take a look at this, there is no give. This is absolutely just, well, I shouldn't say no give, but it's just hard plastic, okay? And I've had a comfortable experience in these orthotics for years, and it changed my life. I literally would limp around for about 3 hours in the morning, and I couldn't jog, run. It really, I felt like I was definitely handicapped. But I was able to put this orthotic, and when I got this orthotic, it changed my life. But can you look at the difference in the engineering between these two? One looks very comfortable, one not so comfortable. But it just does go to show that it doesn't have to be, it's not the soft you're looking for, it's the engineering. And I want to talk about the engineering for just a moment, and how these orthotics work. That when I took my sons in for their free analysis, which of course I was convinced at the end of the analysis, that the way they move, the way it interacts with their skeletal structure, all of that is very important. So there's very, very high-end engineering in the way they do the analysis, the way they do the gait analysis and all the rest of their testing, so that when they are able to make a recommendation, it's the proper recommendation. But now down to the engineering of the actual manufacturing of the product that arrives for your foot, is that the way they engineer it is truly amazing engineering, that when your foot moves, it actually follows your foot. Now, when I first heard this explained to me, I thought to myself, well, why do I need my orthotic to follow my foot when it's not pressed against the ground? Why would that be important? Art, why would that be important for it to follow my foot even when it's not pressed against the ground?
Because during the whole gait cycle, your foot needs direction on what to do, so the rest of your skeleton system follows it. So that's the difference. The one you were showing yourself, okay, that's called an accommodating arch support, and it was developed basically in the 70s. Okay.
See, I'm way out of date.
Okay,
I'm out of fashion.
No, that orthotic still works. Okay.
And it does. I mean, I can attest to that. It changed my life.
It still works. What ours does is called a full contact orthotic. During the whole gait cycle, your foot actually stays in the orthotic so that you're not moving around. You're accommodating. Okay. Just at the beginning of the gait cycle and at the end is it actually doing its work. There was no way back then that they knew how to get it through the whole cycle. Okay?
Absolutely.
So with the computer age and the new plastics that they have and everything else, that's why mine stays rigid when it's supposed to, and it flexes when it's supposed to, where yours had to stay a certain rigidity the whole time.
Sure.
Because of the difference in the technologies in the 70s against now in the 2000s.
I know. Obviously, I was convinced. I mean, I went and got my first. I took my oldest son there, and then I took my youngest son there. And now that I've learned that I'm in the 70s, I'm going to be taking myself down there. So you get yourself up to date too. Make sure you call Foot Solutions and get an appointment scheduled at 623-536-6676. And literally, it will change your life. Even if you're not in a lot of pain with your feet, it might be hip pain, it might be back pain. And again, you want to be able to take a holistic approach, coordinate with your chiropractor, get some good shoes, get some good orthotics. But and I agree 100% with Art, is that when your foot is in the air, it needs to be able to be aligned so that it hits the ground properly. I mean, we all know that. If you jump out of even just 3 feet, you jump off your counter down to the ground, you need to land properly. You land wrong, it could split out a knee, a hip, all kinds of things. And,
Exactly.
And so if you're doing that a little bit off every day, think of the wear and the tear, and the guys like me who have my back a little set up for arthritis later if I'm not careful.
And that's exactly where the orthotic comes in, okay? Because if you're not using the right orthotic, okay, first your foot's out of the line.
Right.
Okay, attached to your foot is your tibia and fibula, which goes up through the knee.
Uh-huh.
If the foot's out of the line, the tibia and fibula are out of the line. Okay, so now you've got wear on the knee,
Yeah.
usually lateral or medial. Okay, it's usually medial where most people feel the pain. Okay, a lot of the athletes get it.
On the inside? Mine actually occurs on the outside, and I am just amazed that when I actually started getting those orthotics, I could run a lot further.
They probably took away a lot of your shin splints and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, but when the knee's out, the hip joint's out.
Uh-huh.
Round, circular. Okay. Instead of riding completely in a round circle in your hip, the hip joint and everything, now you ride high and low, so now you start wearing the cartilage out in your knee.
Mhm.
I mean in your hip.
You bet.
Okay. And at that same position, because the tibia's out, the hip's out, your pelvis points down.
I gotcha.
When you're walking and running, your pelvis should slightly be tipped upward. And
Okay.
in this case, when the foot is out of the line and it's all going down, that points down. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and this is where a lot of chiropractors go nuts, because when it's pointing down, L4 and 5 in your back have an automatic response system that say keep everything above me straight. So they have to put a bow in them. That's why so many people have problems with L4 and 5, lower back pain and discs and everything else, because they're constantly trying to keep the rest of your skeleton system straight.
Right.
And it initiates because your foot isn't balanced. So it just goes right up your skeleton system, and it can go even further too, but that's just the chain reaction that I'm telling you about right now.
I'm going to, looks like we're coming in at the end of the show, and I want to end with this analogy, and I'm hoping that people can follow me on this one. Maybe not everybody knows what it means to have your engine block cracked in your car, but here's what ends up happening. If the frame in your car gets bent, and if anybody knows anything about cars and engines, you literally can only go so far with your frame bent out of line with your car before eventually the engine block will crack and ruins your engine. So I don't know why we think the human body is any different. That we can continue to be out of line and have our frame out of line and keep punishing it like we do. And think that nothing's going to happen wrong, and that all we have to do is take some glucosamine and we're on our way, or even worse, ibuprofen and we're on our way, right? So these are all things that we need to pay attention to our bodies, and that with just a very, very minor investment in a good shoe, a very minor investment in a good orthotic, it will literally change thousands of preventive or of maintenance dollars later in your life, and if that's an okay way to say it.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely.
So make sure that you go down and visit our friends Art and Linnell. Definitely one of my trusted business partners, and people that I would definitely recommend, not only from the standpoint of providing great products for you to be able to have a great life, but they're wonderful, fun people. When you go down there, that you will feel a part of their family like we have. And I would recommend going down there from all aspects, customer service all the way through. They're just wonderful people, and a great brand, great product, great service. And that means that you need to take action, pick up the phone and call 623-536-6676 and take advantage of the free offer that they are allowing. If nothing else, go down there out of curiosity. And remember, it's not just those that are in pain. If you're not in pain, that's even more important for you to go down there, because that you might be able to still have a great life in your future, and prevent all kinds of issues from occurring later. So I would definitely recommend you giving them a call, and also researching a little bit more if you want to do that before you call at www.footsolutions.com/Goodyear-Arizona.com. Thanks again, Art and Linnell, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt.
Wonderful, and thank you to all of our listeners for joining us here on the Social Universe on Voice America. We look forward to talking to all of you next week, and thank you for joining us.